Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Palm Coast City Council Business Meeting. Today is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. It is 9 a.m. We're in the John Netz Community Wing of City Hall. If you please, I'm call this meeting to order. If you please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and a short moment of silence. Please keep in your thoughts and prayers the citizens of Australia that just went through a horrific attack. If you have devices, please go ahead and silence them. Ms. Cook, if you could call the roll, please.
Mayor Norris.
Here.
Vice Mayor Pontieri.
Present.
Councilmember Gambaro.
Here.
Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll move on to public participation. Please refrain from any derogatory comments if you can, and we'll allot 30 minutes for this period. So if you have a public comment, please come forward. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Duarte.
Good morning, Jeannie Duarte. I am here formally to request two actions today. An independent forensic audit of the City of Palm Coast water and wastewater system, and the charter review to be tabled till this dais is filled with elected officials. The water utilities requests are based on documents of evidence of undisclosed contaminants, emergency chemical changes, failing infrastructure, sewer overflows, raising costs, and lack of transparency. A forensic audit is not routine accounting. When residents are being told one thing and documents are showing another, a forensic audit becomes a duty, not an option. It protects the public, the city, and future decision makers. Next, the city charter is a voter's contract with the government, their government, and you all have it under review. Any changes affecting oversight, spending authority, or voter protection must be made with maximum legitimacy and public trust, which is currently strained. Proceeding with the charter changes will, while seats are appointed and are not or not in attendance, undermines confidence in the process and outcome. On behalf of the citizens of Palm Coast, we demand that the city council, table the charter review until this dais is filled with elected councils, and that this council authorizes a complete independent forensic audit to include public findings so trust can be restored through transparency and facts. This is about respecting the voters and rebuilding public trust. We need clean water, honest governance, and full accountability. And stop approving new builds, the data center, and zoning changes till this demand has been fulfilled. The best thing that the new city manager can do is to fire his assistant. She has had knowledge of all this, and she has been deflecting the truth. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mayor and council members. This is my first time standing in front of you
State your name, sir.
as a resident of Palm Coast. My name is David Preet. My address is protected under Florida statutes, but I do live in the city of Palm Coast. I'm going to stand up here today and hopefully get my point across in 3 minutes. I'm going to heap some praise on this council and Ms. Johnson, and I'm also going to level some criticism that I think can be done better things in this city. Ms. Johnson, I want to tell you, thank you for your time. It was a rocky road the last couple years. You've got a strong heart, and a goodwill to stand up here and take the beating that you've gotten from the city commission and some of the members in the audience. I appreciate that. It takes a strong person to do that. Thank you for your time. Your new city manager may or may not have their hands full. Now another praise. Ms. Pontiera, thank you for the communication on next door concerning Fire Station 25. And Chief Berryhill, I am not going to knock you or anything on that part. You were precise. You asked to carry it forward in an email. I didn't think I needed to because after you and I spoke or chatted on the Nextdoor app, Chief Berryhill put out a PSA about what was going on at 25. I think it could have been a waste of money, could have been a warranty issue, but whatever. I did a little research, station being built in 2009. I got no problem with that. Council members, thank you for relaxing the paint codes on the houses. I lived in the Woodlands when I first moved up here in 1989, and I've worked in this county, for this county, and I was one of the first firefighters 24 hours for the Palm Coast Service District. I retired out of this county in 2015. I lived in the Woodlands. I got in trouble for painting my house. I didn't get permission by the HOA. I asked my wife. That was my permission. I also got in trouble for having my county-marked vehicle in my driveway, but yet a sheriff's deputy could. I asked the county. I left my vehicle there. Now, this stuff that I don't like, the throwing of money away. Member Miller, you wanted to give $190,000. You and I chatted on Nextdoor. You wanted to give $190,000 to keep the Palm Coast Library open. That is county property. I pay county taxes. Now you're going to double tax me because the Palm Coast residents are inconvenienced. What about the West Side residents? They had to drive to Palm Coast when the Bunnell Library was closed. What's any difference for Palm Coast residents? The dog fee, registration, resolution, come on. Ms. Grossman probably didn't do her due diligence. Ormond Beach has a fee. Daytona has a fee. Ormond's is a sliding scale and gives a discount for residents over age 62. A 500% increase? Outrageous. And I apologize for my time, and I'll close real quick. That's not acceptable. People that have 4 dogs or 4 animals, that's $100 a year. And you want to fund the county joint project of animal control. You can do better than that. Not $5, give a discount. And in closing, I made a comment this morning when the mayor walked in the door. 3 of you are going home. You're going on to bigger and better things. I can't stand up here and complain and preach to the commission without doing something about it. Just like I did when I was in the HOA. I ran for a position. I was elected president. I lightened the codes. 3 of you are going home. 1 of you is in my district. I just may throw my hat in the ring to see if I can guide this city and help. I'm 1 vote, but that's 1 of 5 that could potentially change and make things better. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service, and I leave you with good blessings.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else for public comment? What you got, Ed?
Good morning. I'm Ed Fuller, Honorable Mayor, Honorable Vice Mayor, Honorable Councilman. It's a privilege to be here today on this sad but very, very, very grateful day for me and my family and the citizens of Palm Coast. It's a day of gratitude. But before I forget some of these things, I want to thank Parks and Rec and Public Works for their help in the Veterans Day Parade and this council up there for participating in it. It was the best Veterans Day Parade we ever had. It was the largest Veterans Day parade we ever had. So thank you very much. My remarks, hopefully, I'll certainly try to do this. Ms. Johnson, God bless you. Thank you so much for stepping up and being the leader and cheerleader of our community. There has been no greater challenge in this community than what we had in the last 20 months. I'm sure when you signed up for it, you figured, oh my God, there's no way. But you know what? I think your guardian angel keeps up with you wherever you go. And your family, I want to say to your mom and dad, thank you for giving us Miss Johnson to our community. You are homegrown, but certainly not in the least, the very best in our community. And I want to thank your mom and dad. I want to thank your family for all the sacrifices that you made for our community. You've been out at almost every event. You've engaged our community at every turn. You've tried to educate our employees. You've tried to educate our citizens. You've tried to educate our legislators. And most of all, we had a new council. And you know what you did know and what you didn't know and what you're still learning. It's always been a learning curve. Ms. Johnson, I understand that you were in the leadership class. I believe you taught the class, not were a participant in it, because your leadership knows bounds. I want to thank you for the support you've given our Palm Coast Citizens Academy alumni group. It has been a real engagement-friendly endeavor to our citizens and our residents. It's a must-attend event, and it's in February, and we also have a surprise, a national anthem singer, and her last name is Duffy, and I'll just try not to give that out. There are many things in life that make a challenge, but I think Maya Angelou summed it up best. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Ms. Johnson, you're amazing. God bless you. Thank you for stepping up. You can check out anytime you want, but you can't never leave. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, ma'am, Miss Holly.
My name is Holly Treat, and I'm here today. I am an investor locally in Palm Coast. I have 13 rental properties. They're all long-term properties, and I have a little bit of an issue. So back in 2013, when I purchased these properties, any property that became vacant, the water department would lock the meter and put it back into my name. Not the case right now. I just received a $186 bill for a vacant rental property. When I called the water department, they said that the new policy is to, when a tenant vacates the property, it goes back into the owner's name. They do not lock it, they just leave it active, which I think is ridiculous. Back in the day, they would lock it. You would pay $50 to have it reinstated if you needed water temporarily on, or if, if somebody moved in. So I guess my problem is that $186 is ridiculous for a vacant property. I shouldn't be paying water if I have zero usage. So when I did call them, they explained to me that a lot of the citizens who owned rental properties would complain that they had to pay that $50 for reconnection. I would rather pay $50 than $186. So I'd like to just ask if you guys could, revisit how that's done. I know that back in the day, they would actually put an actual lock on the water meter. Nowadays, they do not put a lock on the water meter. They zip tie it. I did have a situation where I had a tenant that would not pay or did not pay their water. They disconnected them, and the tenant went out there, cut the zip tie. When I received a bill for the water, I questioned it because the tenant had been there for 8 years, and they said that they were disconnected for non-payment. So that also poses, risk to us as investors and rental property owners. And when I asked them why they didn't lock it with an actual lock, they said they didn't have enough locks to do that in the city of Palm Coast. I have a vacant property in Volusia County as well, excuse me, in Daytona Beach. The bill is $27. So I brought these with me, so if you wanted to verify the 186 to the 27. So this is a non-active account, it is locked. I do have to pay, I don't even know what they're charging me for on this. It just says $27.58, which is just a basic fee that is just sitting there vacant. But I would like to ask that you guys, visit this and see if there's something we can do to either lock the meters once a tenant leaves or, have a base fee for that. So, thank you. Merry Christmas to you guys.
Thank you, Ms. Tree.
Sorry, Mayor, Ms. Holly, would you mind leaving those with the clerk so that we can make those Thank you. I just want to be able to look at them.
Yes, sir, Mr. Webb.
Mark Webb, Palm Coast. So we made it. Last meeting of 2025. Accolades are awesome. The acting city council member, each one of you have had a trying and struggling year, and here we are. But what I want to do is take a moment and speak to the citizens of this city, because there have been some phenomenal examples of you guys paying attention, listening, and reacting to the citizens. So when I speak, hopefully I speak for a lot more than the 7 to 10 people that are here. We looked at chickens. We're going to do that again today. We looked at parking. Those were all citizen request issues that were brought to the council. We looked at paint colors. But we moved forward and you listened and you heard. We almost had a petroleum facility plant farm. The citizens spoke up. You listened. The concrete processing plant. The citizens rallied, spoke, interfaced with you, representatives of the citizens. So it is imperative, and I preach this constantly. Citizens have a voice. We do have the last voice. And I want to applaud you guys in your own way for listening and trying to do the right thing. And I think, unfortunately, the larger view of many of the citizens here is, why bother? I don't have a voice. They're not going to listen to me. Now, not everything that they want. I'm a big fan of the Aquatic Center staying. I guarantee you the consequences of losing a facility to gain another one is going to have its own challenges. But you're moving, you're talking, you're doing, you're proposing, you are making effort. I want to see this room full of citizens that participate and care with everything you guys are doing. So I hope you have a phenomenal break and a holiday. Turn off all the news and radio and get a good book and take a breath and come back recharged, because I think next year is going to be quite a bit of challenge. But thank you guys for everything you do.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, sir.
Hi, good morning. Jeffrey Marsden, B section, Palm Coast. I just wanted to echo that point. I'm disappointed that there aren't more citizens here this morning. I wish there were. There weren't very many at the Flagler County meeting yesterday either. Just two things I wanted to bring up. The Starlight Parade was canceled last week, which was a big disappointment for a lot of people here in Palm Coast. And besides that, I heard, and I could be wrong here, that Palm Coast was trying to charge the marina fees for boats to enter the parade, so there were only about a dozen, as opposed to, I think 2 years ago, there were 90-something boats. Anyway, it doesn't really seem like the Christmas spirit to me, charging those boats to enter the parade. The second thing is, I saw in the newspaper and online, the new city manager's salary is apparently $225,000 a year, plus benefits. Some people are saying $300,000 a year. I checked Ron DeSantis, Governor Ron DeSantis' salary is $141,000 a year. I'm not sure where that money is coming from. The Palm Coast Aquatic Center is closed again for the winter. That city manager salary is affordable and in the budget, but, a tank of LPG gas and paying some teenagers $12 an hour, that's not affordable. There's a lot of people that might want to be here to talk about that pool. but they can't because they are physically disabled, and it's very difficult. They're mobility challenged, and so, you know, there's taxpayers in this town, the only exercise they can get is in that pool. And when they don't have that, that's 4 months of no exercise for a lot of people that are disabled in this community. And I know there was talk about a YMCA here, but apparently that's defunct now, possibly. Anyway, I would beseech the council to think about the finances, and again, think about the people in this community that get no exercise for 4 months because that pool is closed. They have to drive down to Holly Hill or Ormond Beach or something like that. Thank you. Merry Christmas, and God bless everyone.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else for public comment? We have time for 2 more. Seeing no one come forward, we'll bring it back to the dais. City Manager, you got any follow-ups?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. The Charter Review Committee, they did have a meeting last night. I believe their findings will come to you in the new year as that process moves forward. Thank you to our public for the kind regards. I believe Miss Asbill from Utility Customer Service took Miss Tree for the rental properties concerns and the locking the meters, and I'll follow up with Mr. Roche on that item as well. And then as it relates to the series of holiday events, we did not charge fees for boat parade participants to enter. We did, it was unfortunate that the Starlight Parade was canceled, but we are trying to work through having a continued celebration this Saturday at the Fantasy Lights Day for celebrating Rotary's 20 years. The Palm Coast Aquatic Center is closed for the winter, but the YMCA is still moving forward. We're working on finalizing agreements, and that will be brought to you in the new year, Mayor and City Council.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other council have any follow-ups?
I think the acting city manager got most of it, but I just did want to say that I think everybody was disappointed in having to cancel that, the parade. I've still got like 300 bags of candy that I gotta find a place for that to go. You know, sometimes you're acting with imperfect information in advance, hours in advance, and you have to make a call. So the call was made, and you know, unfortunately, the weather didn't back up the call. But we're going to try to get something done this coming Saturday to give the residents something to do here in Town Center and celebrate Christmas with us.
Thank you, sir. Vice Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So I just want to mention the pool. I have done a lot of research with staff to figure out how we can open up the pool. The big issue is not necessarily the staff. That is something that could be worked out. It's the fact that we would have to replace the pool heaters. There's 2 of them, and they would cost anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000. If we were not looking forward to the YMCA coming in very soon, that may be an investment that council may be willing to make, and maybe council is still willing to make that investment. But being that we do have the YMCA coming in, we are anticipating that moving forward, and it will be city managers at 27 or 28?
28.
28. So we're talking about a roughly $200,000 investment so that we can open up a couple months earlier in the wintertime. And I don't know if this council has the appetite to do that, but that is the latest development. So to the extent council does want to try to find those funds, maybe in this coming fiscal year, we can talk about that. But I just, you know, I want to let the public know, I understand, I really do. I was disappointed to see that we had to keep the pool closed through April or March of this year, opening in April rather than opening in February. But it is more than a staffing issue. It's mostly a maintenance issue with those pool heaters. So, you know, if council wants to talk about that in this coming fiscal year, we can certainly do so, but that's the update on the pool. Thank you.
Anybody else? You have anything, Councilman?
Yes, I just had follow-up. I think we'll take care of it, but on Ms. Holly's questions about when the rental properties switch over, I'd just like, maybe find out what is the procedure on that? Is there an established procedure or not? And if there isn't, maybe it needs to be looked at. Sounds like it could be pretty serious at times.
Councilman Gambaro, you have anything? All right, thank you, sir. All right, we're moving on to item E, minutes. We have minutes to approve from the December business meeting. Anyone have any issues or corrections for the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to
Second.
approve? Got a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? You're good, Ms. Cook? Thank you, ma'am. We're moving on to the item F, ordinance of the second read. The first one in the chute is the backyard chicken changes that we've made. Do we need a presentation or anything from the staff? Is everyone happy with the changes we've made?
If I recall, the only changes we made were the definition of the chickens and ag.
Yeah, so, you guys asked for to change it to excessive insects. I added that, and then also I took out where in our land development code where we were striking chicken, I left that in so that chicken could still be in for agricultural use.
All right, thank you, sir. Anybody have any issues? Any further discussion? Can we get a motion to approve?
Mr. Mayor, move approval of the ordinance.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the council at this time? We'll open the matter up for public comment. Anyone have any public comment concerning the second read of this ordinance concerning backyard chickens? Seeing no one come forward, no further discussion from the council. Ms. Cook, call the vote.
Vice Mayor Pontieri,
Yes.
Councilmember Gambaro,
Yes.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Yes.
Mayor Norris.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, ma'am. We're moving on to F3, ordinance of the second read for the creation of the Recovery Resident Ordinance pursuant to Florida statute legislation, State Bill 954. Any further discussion, changes, or updates? Anybody have anything? Can we get a motion?
Mr. Mayor, move approval of the ordinance.
Second.
We got a second. Any further discussion? We'll open it up for public comment. Anyone have any discussion or comments concerning bringing us into state compliance? Right, Ms. Jackie? Yes, ma'am. Seeing no one come forward, we'll bring it back to the dais. No further discussion. Ms. Cook, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Pontieri,
Yes.
Councilmember Gambaro,
Yes.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Yes.
Mayor Norris.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, ma'am. We're moving on to item G, resolutions. Items 4, resolution approving established permit fee schedule for allowances of backyard chickens.
Yes, Mayor, City Council, this is complementary to the ordinance that you just passed for having backyard chickens. This is setting a fee schedule for those permits.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Do we need any further discussion from the staff? Ms. Grossman? Michael?
No, sir.
Okay. We have anything? Yes, sir.
I just wanted to point out that when we did the test case, I think we had about in the 20s was the number of people who came forward on that. The ordinance allows up to 100, as I believe I'm reading it. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes with the fee to do it. There have been people who've been raising chickens in Palm Coast for a long time, so I think that it's going to be interesting to see just how, with the fee now, how that works out and what the total number turns out to be. I just point that out. I'm in favor of the way it's written and the fee.
Oh, and I got some feedback that several people said they didn't necessarily want to go through the process as a pilot and pay the fee and then pay for there's some significant startup costs to get this going, and so they didn't want to do it until they knew it was kind of permanent, so to speak. So I anticipate probably some more people jumping in.
Be interesting.
Yes. Okay, I personally, when we started this way back when, I think under the old council, I never thought there'd be more than 100 people. So I think we're doing what the residents ask. We haven't had that many issues, have we, Ms. Grossman?
No, and it hasn't changed in the last 2 times that I've been here. We're still at 23 with 2 expired and 0 in the queue.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Can we get a motion to approve the resolution?
Mr. Mayor, move approval of the resolution.
Thank you, sir. Can I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any further discussion from the dais? We'll open this up for public comment. Anyone have any public comments concerning the fee schedule? Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Again, David Preet. We're supposed to be user-friendly in the city. and I didn't get a chance to finish everything else, and I won't go back that further. We continue to tax our citizens. I'm for backyard chickens, and there might be members in the back that are not. That's their right and my right as well, too. But we're supposed to be a user-friendly city. We are projecting to the nation, to the state of Florida, we want people to move here. But then we don't make it user-friendly. We want to continue to tax or spend the citizens' money. The dog fee, outrageous. That is shouldered on the members that put you all in this office, that pay the taxes for this city and the county. Something better could be done. I didn't do my due diligence and find out what the fee is for backyard chickens. But a fee, you're making it look like we're a communist-led city. You're putting it out there because a few people don't like chickens. 4 chickens. I lived next to a house that I never knew had chickens. 4. They were quiet, they were clean, there was no smell. And I got free eggs once I found out about it. 4 chickens, and you want to charge me and the citizens. Outrageous. That's the stuff I'm talking about that needs to be changed. We need to be user-friendly, not tax and permit every little thing the citizens have to do. We pay taxes. There'll be people that will turn in their pets because they can't afford the $25 outrageous fee for pets. And if somebody has 4, that's $100 a year. People will go hungry, as in me, for my pets. They will have a place to sleep. They will eat before I do. But I will not pay $25, and I will not pay a fee to have chickens. Therefore, my yard is clean. I'm a clean person. Thank you. That's not a threat. That is just how a citizen feels that opposes others that don't want chickens. Thank you for your day and your time.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Duarte.
Jeannie Duarte, it's almost like you guys don't want chickens either, because it's unaffordable for anyone to pay these kind of fees for, what, 4 chickens? I used to raise chickens. I raised chickens with my kids. We were in FFA, 4-H, all that. I grew up in FFA and 4-H. And to pay all these fines and fees and just to have a few chickens in your backyard, you're not going to get, the residents are not going to get their worth out of it. It costs them money to buy the chickens. It costs them money to feed the chickens, and they're only going to get a few eggs out of it that are not sustainable in an emergency situation. A lot of people want chickens in their backyard and vegetables in their backyard for emergency situations to feed their family and to take care of their family in case of an emergency. Well, you already made it unaffordable. That's like, when it comes right down to it, what's the length of time that a chicken lives? And does this include roosters? Do you have a separate ordinance for roosters? Is that even part of this? But this is completely unaffordable, and it makes the grocery store look a lot more appealing. I'd rather stick them in my freezer than to have them in my backyard and pay you guys.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else for public comment? I'll bring it back to the dais. The residents have to understand there's costs to regulate. There's costs to regulate and enforce codes. That's why there's a fee. Any other comments from the dais?
Yeah, Mayor, I mean, I appreciate you saying that, because our whole goal through all of the policy making, I think we've been pretty consistent up here. We want to be cost recovery. So there's a cost to do business. We don't want to abuse businesses, but we want to be cost recovery. There's a cost to have animals. There's a cost to have chickens. We want to be cost recovery. We have to be consistent across the board. We can't subsidize other people having chickens. And if there's a permit process that we have to pay staff to make sure there's certain compliance, because we are still in platted neighborhoods and we still have to be respectful of neighbors, there's a cost to that. And if we don't impose a cost on the person who has the privilege of having the chickens, then all the other residents are essentially subsidizing their ownership of chickens. And I can't abide by that. And I don't think the council can abide by that either. So I get it. I understand that, particularly with the pet fee, and I'll get into this later because I met with the Flagler Humane Society yesterday. there's always a cost of doing things. There are plenty of things that I want that I can't afford, unfortunately. And I think most people make choices based on their finances, and this is just another one of those. So I think this is a good ordinance. We did listen to the residents. We made some reasonable choices here because we got pushback on having chickens from a lot of people who didn't feel that they were appropriate in the neighborhoods. But I commend this council for coming down and for staff for coming down on what I think is a reasonable ordinance and a reasonable cost recovery fee.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just on the question of, I believe, and I'll check with our lawyer, I believe we said no roosters.
No roosters.
In the ordinance, it says there are no roosters allowed.
No roosters allowed. Any further discussion? Ms. Cook, call to vote.
Vice Mayor Pontieri?
Yes.
Councilmember Gambaro?
Yes.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Councilmember Sullivan?
Yes.
Mayor Norris?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, ma'am. We're moving on to item 5, designating Palm Coast Strategic Employment Zone Track 17 as a brownfield area for economic development pursuant to Section 376.80 of Florida statute. We have any further discussion or questions for staff?
Mr. Mayor, move approval of the resolution.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? We'll open it up for public comment. Yes, sir. Mr. Amaral.
Good morning, Tony Amaral, Palm Coast. So Track 17 has been this council's elephant in the room. It has been a park. It has been a commercial area. It is now a brownfield. Why would we even consider this as a park site if it was going to be considered a brownfield? It just kind of makes me wonder, what is the plan for 17? It has been 10 different things in the last 3 years. We have costs associated with it. Then we're trying to recharge for it for once we want to move it to something else. We need to settle in, figure out what we're doing with it. The brownfield idea, I understand why. It will help get funding for different properties, to bring in other properties and work on it, to get it prepared for possibly commercial. But let's just be consistent, figure out what we want, and make it a one-time deal, it's something, every time Track 17 comes up, it is something new. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing no one come forward, we'll bring it back to DICE. This has been going on for a while. I remember, Vice Mayor, back when you were saying it has all the utilities. It's ready to go. The whole point of this ordinance is to try to spur that economic development and get jobs into our community. And we're doing the best we can. We will have to go through the rezoning. It will have to be rezoned once we settle on what we're going to do with it. It's still recreation, right?
No.
So it's not? Has it been changed?
No.
What is the current zoning on it?
It's institutional. In the MPD, it has an allowable use. During the MPD amendment, we added the allowable use for it to be industrial, but we do not have the industrial entitlements. So it's still our property, and there are several options for how we would like to proceed. But this gives us the best opportunity, especially working with the state and applying for future grants, to promote more jobs coming into our community. So that's why this item is on your agenda.
Yep. So we still have other entities that are tied to that property that we have to deal with. Any further discussion from the council?
Mr. Mayor, I mean, the biggest item we always discuss is a limitation for our community in regards to bringing in new jobs is pads and buildings. Well, you got to have land to do that, and this is an opportunity to bring in funding. So I commend, again, you, sir, and Mr. McKinney on coming up with creative, reasonable solutions to get us on the road to setting us up to have the opportunity to have a discussion on how we want to drive economic development. So I think it's a smart move, and I look forward to voting for it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? The whole north side of the city, we've been here 20 years. We've moved City Hall down here to the south end. That whole north end, we need to develop, and not just houses. We need industrial growth in this city to bring jobs, well-paying jobs to our community. With that being said, any further discussion? Miss, you got something?
I was just going to add that I think we've been fairly consistent recently that this is for economic development and commercial and industrial potential. We're just limited because of the original intent of the property, which was a park. So that's why we don't have the entitlements, which means in order to move forward, we do have to get those entitlements to go forward. But this should help with some of the land prep costs and things like that. So it's a great opportunity to save some money, get some money back from the federal government rather than through property taxes.
Can I just add on this, the
Yes.
park, and this was designated to be a sports complex, but we did take that out of your 5-year impact fee and moved it out to the long-range plan. So it's not currently funded in your impact fee 5-year or your capital projects plan.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, Vice
If I may, Mayor, so, just to kind of piggyback on what Councilman Miller was saying, the issue is the entitlements. There's a private entity that owns the entitlements that would allow us to put industrial on that property, and they want millions of dollars for those entitlements. So again, this is a way to hopefully get some additional funding to try to get creative with what we can do, bringing in jobs and getting this site actually developed, getting something coming out of the ground. So there's a lot of challenges. I understand. We kind of get in the weeds on some of these things because we have to, but it's hard to, from a public perspective, it's hard to kind of understand what's going on behind the curtain for us to make things come out of the ground. So I echo Councilman Gambaro's comments. Thank you to you, John, and to Craig for your work on this. This is another creative way to try to get this done, so thank you.
The community at large needs to understand that less than 3% of our total land mass within the city's boundaries of like 95, 97 square miles, less than 3% is industrial. And unless we have owners that are people that are property banking to come forward and say, hey, we want to do something with this property. We want to rezone it for industrial. We are limited. There are property rights that limit what the city can do and how the city can promote economic growth and industrial growth within our city boundaries. Anything else?
I agree with what you said.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Cook, call the vote.
Vice Mayor Pontieri?
Yes.
Councilmember Gambaro?
Yes.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Councilmember Sullivan?
Yes.
Mayor Norris?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, ma'am. We're moving on to item 6, resolution approving professional administrative service contract with MBS Government Finance Group for OKR Special Assessment Taxing District. And I'd like to say up front that we are trying to limit costs for the city. And this, I think, will help, for administrative costs and having to bring on more staff when we can outsource it. I think it's a fair balance. But we will move on. Sir, you're here to present.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Michael Vespucci from Finance, and I am presenting before you today a resolution for professional administrative services from MBS Government Finance Group for the maintenance and annual tax roll preparation of the Old Kings Road Special Assessment District. The initial ordinance of this tax roll for this district consisted of 35 parcels amongst 8 different owners. During our last tax roll, we administered assessments to 247 parcels amongst 35 different owners. With the anticipated future development of this area, we know the amount of parcels will increase significantly in the coming years. Our recommendation is to approve the Master Services Agreement with NBS Government Finance Group for professional administrative services over the Old Kings Road Special Assessment District.
Thank you, sir. This whole thing, if I'm not mistaken, city manager, was we actually lent money to develop that road. That's what the OKR is repaying, that debt to the city, correct?
Yes, sir, you're correct.
And this is just to administer that debt and make sure that we are getting what's entitled to the city from those property owners.
Yes, sir, they pay it on the tax roll, and it comes into a fund that we have, and there's lots of more parcels, and it's getting a little too much to manage in-house, and so this services will help us manage that process.
Thank you, ma'am. And I think we had to do an adjustment for the assessments that we levied this past year. Didn't we do something recently? That the amount changed, or we had to amend?
I don't believe so. Helena is shaking her head in the back, no.
Okay. All right. Any discussion from council? Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We got a second. Any further discussion from the council? We'll open this up for public comment. Seeing no one come forward, we'll bring it back to the dais. Ms. Cook, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Pontieri?
Yes.
Councilmember Gambaro?
Yes.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Councilmember Sullivan?
Yes.
Mayor Norris?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll move on to our last public participation, our last 3-minute sessions for the residents. And anyone have any closing public comment relating to nothing that's on the agenda that we've already covered? We're not backsliding and going back over old news. Tony, were you going to say something? Yeah, yes, ma'am. Miss Diane, yes.
Good morning, Diana McLemore at the F section here in Palm Coast. And good morning, City Council, Mr. Mayor. I'm not much of a speaker, but I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to publicly thank Lauren for her dedication to the citizens of Palm Coast during her time as our acting city manager. I feel that she has done a tremendous job facing many challenges. The citizens of Palm Coast have been blessed to have her in this role for this extended period of time, and I think she should be applauded. Happy holidays to you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I know you're going to get tired of hearing me. I want to first offer apologies for coming out a little passionate. I like my city. I like my living. And I appreciate what you do. I understand the comments of the mayor and the vice mayor on it all. And I appreciate you saying we're not going to rehash it. That's acceptable. But I want to apologize. But you've woke my eyes up. And you've helped me make a determination that I'm going to move forward just like I did when I was in the HOA. And I'm going to help guide this city, or try to, in a good way. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me, and appreciate your comments. We are supposed to be revenue neutral, and I'll leave it at that. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir. Anyone? Yes, Tony.
Tony Emerald, Palm Coast. I just broke it.
We're going to levy an assessment on you for that.
Breaking you by it.
Wait, I'll submit my bill. I fixed it. Thank Tony Emerald, Palm Coast. I want to thank all of you for a year that started off a little rocky and has worked out to be beneficial to everyone in the city. We've all come together, and I appreciate everything that has been done from each and every one of you. Lauren, I know you're probably tired of hearing about it, but you have done a phenomenal job. Thank you for all the work you've put in, and we look forward to still seeing you around and being part of the city. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you, Tony. Merry Christmas to you and your family also. We'll bring it back to anyone else for public comment. Seeing no one come forward, we'll bring it back to the dais. We'll go with city council matters not on the agenda. Councilman Miller, do you have anything?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I just wanted to take a moment to thank the Parks and Rec staff for kind of the pace of the holidays and all the things that they're having to do to put on events for the city. You know, with weather and changes and things like that, sometimes it's not easy, and sometimes, you know, it may feel that, you know, we're not able to deliver exactly what we want to in some cases, and I just want to thank them for all the work they've done. You know, all those things that needed to happen for the parade happened and then had to be shut down as well. So it wasn't like nobody came out and did the work. All that work was done, and we didn't get to, you know, basically throw the party at the end after prepping for it. So just want to thank them as well as all the work they did with the boat parade. My understanding is there's quite a few people at Waterfront Park, and you know, the working with emergency services and the county transportation staff and shuttling people to and from parking lots to make sure as many people as possible could view that from the parkland over there on the intercoastal takes a lot. So I just want to say I appreciate that and just wanted to wish everybody out there Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Gambaro?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I want to start off this morning by thanking our staff. It's been well over a year now that I've had the privilege of serving on this council, and all of our departments, parks, recs, communications, water, wastewater, stormwater, finance, you guys all do a fantastic job. And we are the recipients of the great level of enhanced service that, you know, as residents that we have in the city. Palm Coast, we live in paradise. And although we're not perfect, we certainly have just a tremendous amount of quality of life, fantastic quality of living. And so I just wanted to every single one of you, just wanted to say thank you for all of your hard work, for all the beatings that you take, in rightfully answering our citizens' concerns and answering their requests and making things happen. And do we get it perfect? Always? No. But you guys do an outstanding job, and I just don't want us to lose sight of all the great work that our city team does for our residents over sometimes some of the things, a handful of things that we can get hung up on. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And I got a couple more things. To Lauren, thanks for your outstanding leadership. It's been a tremendous honor to work with you and collaborate and to figure out how to get things done. And I wouldn't expect anything less from a fellow Gator. But for sure, just tremendous leadership. We don't always agree, but you know, I don't always agree with my wife either. But you know, we try to find areas that we can work on. And this is what democracy is all about. This is what leadership is all about. Focusing on the things that you can agree on and move forward on that. Okay? And then the last thing I want to say is it's been a hell of a year. We've had some speed bumps as a council, but I want to thank this council for making the hard choices to move this city forward in a way where previous councils didn't have the guts to do it. We made some extremely hard choices for the long-term benefit of our community. In this council, a lot of it was unpopular. We decided to move forward and do it. And so, again, that's what leadership looks like. And so I'm very pleased that we're finding common ground to move forward on the things that we can agree on. And this is what getting the city's business done looks like. And so thank you to this council. You know, we'll continue to find our way because it's not about us. It's about our residents and everybody else. Okay, so Merry Christmas, you know, and I hope everybody has a safe and great New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Sullivan?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. First of all, on the two parades, the Starlight Parade that was canceled and then the boat parade, it's unfortunate, and I hope we can do something, as you say, this weekend to make up for the Starlight Parade. And I love the boat parade, no matter how many boats are in it. The boats that came by, I'm fortunate to live on the Intercoastal down towards the Grand Haven Clubhouse, so I get to see the parade twice. So even though there are fewer boats, they were all, the ones that came by were great. So I wanted to say that. And it's hard when you change over from somebody organizing that parade for so many years and then the city trying to do it the first time. But I don't think that should stop us from making sure we continue to have the Christmas boat parade in the future. Number two, I want to thank everybody. I'm the last person to come on the council of the group that's up here now, and I want to thank the staff and Lauren, which I want to say more about Lauren, but for making this transition easy for me. I do think I bring a little bit different perspective, having served 8 years on the county commission and then coming here. I really have a good understanding now of what goes on at the county, what goes on at the city, the differences, the strengths and weaknesses of both organizations. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate our staff who made this transition really, really easy for me to do. Next, I want to thank Lauren for being a great person, keeping us informed about what was going on, having our meeting. You know, we have meetings before this meeting to make sure we're up to speed on what's coming up at the meeting, and then we let her know to go back to the staff on things that we're interested in. So in any event, with that, so Lauren, thank you very much, and I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. That's why I have a little sign out there, and Happy Holidays, and we're looking forward to another great year.
Thank you, sir. We're going to save Vice Mayor for last. For the residents, if you haven't been here that long, you have to understand, our city has a little bit of PTSD concerning our Starlight Parade. We had I guess a Cat 1 tornado hit right at the beginning of one where we had to evacuate the whole town center back in the day. And then I think just a couple of years ago, we had another one that kind of rolled through. It was straight line winds, but it was bad. So it's better to err on the side of caution. I know people were disappointed, and we collectively made that decision. You know, the city manager got the input from all the city council before she made that call. So it's better to err on the side of caution, and we're going to try to make it up on Saturday with the 20th anniversary of the lights out here in the town center. I'd like to thank the staff. This has been a trying year for all of us, but I think we've done a really good job to fulfill our commitments to the city of Palm Coast. The boat parade, I think the staff did an excellent job. We have a couple of hiccups, but we can't dictate that people show up for a boat parade. We had more than 45 boats sign up, and I think we have 25 or 26 that came out. And it may have been a little bit to do with the weather, but we had the tides, so all the larger boats had ample opportunity to get out into the water, and they chose not to. And I can't fault anybody for that if they didn't like the transition. But anytime we have a special event in this city, it incurs costs. And whoever pays that, they own it. When you pay for it, you own it. And the yacht club didn't want to do it anymore, and there's no way I was going to, or this city was going to let that fall to the wayside and us not have a parade on the water, because it's become a tradition. That's the 42nd annual boat parade we've had. The Palm Coast Historic Society has shirts left over from the commemorative shirts left over if you want to stop by and pick one up. And all the boat captains got one of those when they came in for the captain's meeting. So I'd also like to thank Lauren. I know we've had difficulties, but she's a fantastic person and an asset to the community. Lauren transitioned me into this position. The outgoing mayor didn't even give me a phone call to say congratulations. So think about that and the stuff that we have gone through this past year. But we have done what the residents have asked us to do. We've done quite a few things, and we're going to keep moving forward. Our biggest obstacle is getting jobs and industry in our community, and we're going to keep working hard for that. But with that, Lauren, thank you so much. Vice Mayor, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I did meet with the Flagler Humane Society yesterday for our quarterly meeting as this council's liaison. It was a really productive meeting. I'm optimistic. So essentially the conversation revolved around what does their continued relationship with the city look like in conjunction with us having a city and county shelter. That kind of dichotomy of responsibility, duties, et cetera, as we move forward. We talked about actually getting a plan put in place, which I don't think has been discussed enough in the past, a plan for expansion, because as we know, we're growing, so we have more animals in the community, more demand. So what does it look like when we move forward, hopefully, with a municipal shelter? How does the Flagler Humane Society kind of fit into that dynamic, and what can we do together to plan for the future of our animals? So really productive meeting. And one of the things that was brought up by Amy, which I thought was a great point, was that we have not looked at Chapter 8 in our Code of Ordinances, which dictates things like how many pets somebody can have in their household, which I didn't even know we had that ordinance on the books. I don't know if you all were aware of that, but there's a limit actually of 4 cats or dogs. So she said, that these are things that we should probably look at, because as we're looking at ways to, from a brick and mortar standpoint, accommodate more animals, is there some policy making that we can engage in to also help prevent the abandonment of animals? And I thought that was a really good point. So I'm asking for consensus from this council to have staff bring us Chapter 8 of the Code of Ordinances to see if there's some policy changes that we can make in that chapter.
I'd be happy to look at it.
I have no problem. Anyone?
Awesome. And I don't think it's super time sensitive, so whenever we can fit that on the calendar. I echo all of the comments from my colleagues up here. It's been, I think, a very unique year. At the end of the day, I think we've all kind of risen to multiple challenges. And despite some of the challenges we've had, I have to tell you, over the past several months, this is the most congenial I've seen and professional I've seen a city council in this city in a long time. I think we've been able to professionally and respectfully talk through differences and come to compromises, which is what a governing body should be able to do. And I think, quite candidly, over the past several months, we've been an example of how policy making should be made when you don't necessarily agree on everything. And our country, unfortunately, has gotten so far from that. So I commend you all, and I definitely, for sure, thank you to staff. You all have been wonderful this year. We've had some newcomers come on board who have jumped into some very challenging positions, and I want to thank you, particularly John and Brian. Thank you. You all have jumped in head first and really dived into some of our challenges, and I've enjoyed already my time working with you all. But all of staff has just been absolutely wonderful, so thank you to every single one of you. Thank you to not only the directors, but every single one of our employees in the city of Palm Coast. There's just so many awesome boots on the ground every single day in this city, and I'm very grateful. I also want to thank everybody for their efforts this Christmas season to deliver special events, and I'm talking about residents, volunteers. This year, I don't know why it's kind of hit me differently, but this year I have noticed so much more of an outpour of volunteerism, selflessness, just a real sense of community as far as the events that have occurred, really, I would say, since October forward, like, coming into the holiday season, and now as we're in the Christmas season. It's just been amazing. I think probably from the baby box installation onward, there's just been so many great community events. We really do live in a wonderful place, and we do have some wonderful residents. And so I just want to thank the residents and all of the volunteers that we have in this community for making particularly this Christmas season so very special. You donated your time, toys, food, money, efforts, compassion. It's just amazing. So thank you to all of you all, and God bless you all for that. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. I hope everybody has a safe new year, and I look forward to doing more good work with this council next year. Last but not least, I do have some remarks for Ms. Johnson. Today, it is both an honor and a privilege to recognize and thank our acting city manager, Lauren Johnston, for her dedicated service over the past nearly 2 years to this city. This very important, very stressful, and very demanding job was thrust upon you, Ms. Johnston, without any warning, and you stepped up, you accepted the call, and you rose to the challenge. John 15:16 says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you. And I appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit that will last." And Lauren, we know that you probably did not choose this and didn't see it coming, but God chose you to step up into this position when we needed it, and you've helped the city bear some wonderful fruit. Many of Palm Coast's accomplishments under your leadership can't quite be seen yet, but I know we have truly done a lot of good that will have lasting positive effects on our city for the unforeseeable future. Public service, especially at the local level, is rarely easy. It requires steady leadership, thoughtful decision-making, and the ability to balance competing priorities while never losing sight of the people who call this wonderful city their home. Throughout your tenure, you have exemplified those qualities with professionalism, integrity, and the utmost of grace. You've led during times of growth and challenge, always guided by a commitment to transparency, compassion, and the long-term health of our community. Whether navigating complex policy issues, managing day-to-day city operations, or supporting the hard-working employees who keep Palm Coast running every day, you've approached every responsibility with diligence and respect. Equally important is the culture you've helped foster, one of collaboration, high standards, and public trust. This council has challenged you so much. We've challenged you to do more with less, to push boundaries in order to protect our residents, and to tap into the talents of our staff that they didn't even know they had. City staff has benefited from your strength and leadership, and residents have benefited from your steady hand and your positive attitude, which we so needed in so many instances. They've also benefited from your thoughtful stewardship of public resources, which all of this council holds in such high regard. Leadership is often measured not by only the accomplishments, but by the stability, the professionalism, and the confidence left behind. You're handing over a good ship to Mr. McLaughlin so by that measure, your impact will be felt long after your tenure concludes. As we welcome Mr. McLaughlin, I, on behalf of the City Council, city staff, and the residents that we serve, want to thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication, your commitment to this community. We're so very grateful for the time, energy, and heart that you have given Palm Coast, and we wish you continued success and fulfillment in all that lies ahead for you and your family, hopefully still with our city for a very, very long time. And with that, we would like to present to you this plaque from staff and from council and from all of our residents. So if you all could stand and joining, please give Ms. Johnson a round of applause for her dedication.
There's a chair there.
Thank you.
I want to let you know that we did do a cake in Gator colors, and my very strong, truly love for you, Lauren, is shown in the fact that I conceded to allowing there to be a cake with Gator colors. Go Knights. So I know council kind of made comments, but I do want to open it up for the rest of council and also Ms. Johnston. Thank you all for everybody who's here to share in this celebration of how well you've done.
You have anything, Lauren?
Yes, thank you. I'm going to keep it brief because I'm kyling a little bit at the moment. I just want to thank City Council for your leadership and, the previous City Council that picked me. I remember sitting in the back and Councilmember Clufus giving me a thumbs up, like, are you going to be okay to do this? So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your mentorship. Thank you to our residents that supported me and those that didn't because they challenged me to do better. And don't read the comments, especially on Flagler Live. Sometimes they're a little nice and a little mean. I appreciate this team, this wonderful team of 600 employees, every single director, every single manager, every single supervisor, and everybody who continues to pour their heart and soul into their job every single day. I want to thank our interim assistant city manager, Chief Strobridge, who helped this past summer, who gave his time to us, help bounce ideas off, help stabilize us. Thank you to Chief Barry Hill, who sat up here several times, let me go on vacation and celebrate my husband's 40th birthday. And then last but not least, I want to thank my family, Cole, Maddie, and my husband, CJ, because I couldn't have done it without them. So thank you.
Okay, guys, we're going to have to hold off on the cake for just a minute. We got to finish the agenda. City Attorney,
One quick order of business, and then I swear I'll be brief. I do have to call a shade meeting for our litigation regarding BBI, the splash pad case. I'll be getting that scheduled with you guys sometime in January, but I want to call it now since we do not have a meeting until January. So other than that, honored always to work with you guys, honored to work with Lauren and staff. I wish you guys a Merry Christmas, and I look forward to 2026.
thank you, sir. City Manager, you got anything left in your tank?
Yes, the emergency and sole source purchases are on your agenda. Is there any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to the entire city of Palm Coast. We're celebrating the third night of Hanukkah tonight. We had a great night last night. The sheriff and I lit the menorah. It was a great event, and that the Jewish community is having a hard time right now. So please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. With that,
Motion to adjourn.
thank you, guys.